Welcome back. Judges 15, continuing down Samson's story. We're going to kind of get to an end of a part of Samson's story rather than this chapter, but next chapter continues his story. So keep that in mind when we kind of get near the end of this.
Again, like last chapter, if you have little kids and you don't want them to hear like violence, because this is a very violent story.
Yeah.
It's kind of graphic too. So if you got little kids and you don't want them to hear that, I wouldn't.
Just fair warning for that.
Your discretion, though.
Yeah. That being said, we are going to be reading out the Bible. So read along with your own Bible too. Different Bible versions say different things. Plus, we're human. You might mess up. So follow along with your own Bible at home. 2, the link for the notes will be down below in the description if you'd like to follow along with that as well. 3, if we miss anything, leave in the comments down below. We want this place to be where you can get information from, so leave it down, and we'll probably respond. We'll try to. 4, if there's any names, I'm going to go ahead and apologize on my behalf because I do that a lot. That being said, though, Judges 15, I guess I'll start us off in verse 1. So 15:1. But it came to pass within a while after, in the time of wheat harvest, that Samson visited his wife with a kid, and he said, I will go in to my wife into the chamber. But her father would not suffer him to go in. Okay. So remember at the end of chapter 14, he left. And that's setting the scene for this. He hasn't been with his wife for some time now. And his wife
was given to another man.
Yeah. So
he doesn't know
good.
this right now.
And he does not know that. So not good. So he decides to return to his wife. It's been some time now. He's like, okay, I need to make amends. So he brings a goat, a kid. That's what a kid means there. It's a baby goat. So this is either a customary gift or it was to continue with the wedding festival that had been interrupted. So he's just like, yeah, we'll resume things where we left off.
I think it's like more of like,
apology.
Giving your wife flowers or something like that. Yeah, because I think he's now had time to cool off and go, okay.
Like, okay, yeah. So trying to make amends. That's the moral of the story there. So when he gets there, though, his wife's father, so his father-in-law, does not let Samson go into the area where she's at. He's like, hey, you can't come in here.
Yep.
So it's like, what's going on about that? Well, verse 2. And her father said, I verily thought that thou hadst utterly hated her. Therefore I gave her to thy companion. Is not her younger sister fairer than she? Take her, I pray thee, instead of her. So, the wife's father thought Samson, had abandoned her. So he's like, I'm just going to, I don't want her to be without a husband, be without a man. So he went ahead and, allowed her to marry someone else.
What's crazy is they were married.
Yeah.
It's not like they went and got a divorce. They were married.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, you can marry her.
Yep. So a little crazy. But this was most likely one of the groomsmen from the wedding festival, as it says, that companion. So
Probably.
He knew who this was, whoever it was, which is like, ugh.
Which is going to contribute to some anger.
So that's a huge insult and betrayal. Imagine one of your friends marrying your wife.
Your wife that you're still married to.
Yeah, it's like, what? But anyways, so just kind of shows the culture of the time too. But the father suggests to Samson for him to marry her younger sister, who is more beautiful or better than his current wife. So something to kind of think about. He's like, hey, again, probably intimidated by Samson's size, I imagine. But he's like, hey, before you get mad, have her younger sister. There's
She's
no problem
better looking.
Yeah. So like, whoa.
So yeah, it's kind of it gives a glimpse into the culture of the Philistines, right?
Take her.
Which is why God told
yeah.
him not to do that. But, verse 3, and Samson said, concerning them, now shall I be more blameless than the Philistines, though I do them of displeasure. So Samson claims because of these events adding up, he will be more blameless when he causes destruction upon them. He's justifying his retaliation. We've said before, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord.
Yep.
I will repay. So, he's
putting it in his own hands.
Yes, he's taking vengeance into his own hands, which is never the right thing to do. Although Samson's claiming he will be innocent when he brings this displeasure or, retaliates, it's more out of revenge than God telling him to. God's not telling him to do any of this.
Yeah.
Again, like we talked about last chapter and the chapter before, God is using Samson's actions to bring judgment onto the Philistines. He's not condoning his actions at all. Displeasure is usually translated to evil, which means like calamity, disaster. He's going to hurt them somehow to repay for them stealing, his wife to him.
We're going to see this chapter has a lot of Samson and the Philistines going right back and forth with each other.
So in verse 4, and Samson went and caught 300 foxes and took firebrands and turned tail to tail and put a firebrand in the midst between two tails. So Samson here, he catches 300 foxes or jackals. It's different animal than what's over in North America. Remember, they're in Israel. Anyway, he ties them together into pairs, their tails together. So that'd be, 150 pairs. Between the tails, Samson puts a torch, firebrand, something that catches fire.
Yeah, which in the next verse you're going to see what he does with this. But
verse 5, and when he had set the brands on fire, he let them go into the standing corn of the Philistines and burn up both the shocks and also the standing corn with the vineyards and the olives. So he sets these foxes on fire and sends them through their crops. Which burns all their fields to the ground. Their corn, their vineyards, their olive groves. And even the harvested crops like that they'd already gleaned from the field, which would be the stalks. So major setback for these Philistines. Both in in wealth because the farmers are going to lose payday from selling off
trading
the food.
and
and the food supply is going to drop because their corn just got burned up, right?
Huge attack.
And even with the vineyards and the olives, I mean, even today, wine and olive oil and stuff like that is really expensive and treasured, especially back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like to think of like a dog. Like imagine like a dog on a leash.
Yeah.
And you when the dog takes off or whatever, you're like, whoa, dragged with it. Now imagine there was nothing holding that leash and the leash was on fire. Yeah, there's going to be a trail of fire everywhere.
Well, imagine you took the leash, hooked it to another dog, and then set the leash on fire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this was chaotic, and if it was here in America, it'd be like forest fire
He did
everywhere.
it with 300 of them.
Yeah. So there's a
The
lot of fire
time it
around.
took to catch 300 foxes.
Yeah.
This man was angry.
He's dedicated. Yep. Continuing on, though, verse 6, we're going to see how the Philistines retaliate from this. Then the Philistines said, "Who hath done this?" And they answered, "Samson, the son-in-law of the Timonite, because he had taken his wife and given her to his companion." And the Philistines came up and burnt her and her father with fire. All right.
Extreme.
Yeah. So even though because Samson did this, they retaliate against his wife and the father-in-law, which they did Samson wrong, but it's kind of a little weird in my head to target that.
They saw them as what they did caused Samson to do this. So they took it down on them first.
Yep. Which, is sad, though. Just showing their mindset, though. So the Philistines find out Samson did it, and they blame them. They have them do the punishment for it. The Philistines' response decided to take the wife and her father, killed with fire. Ironically, the wife tried to avoid this fate by betraying Samson earlier. So again, back in the chapter beforehand.
Still this emotion.
Yep.
Sort of, in a way.
Yeah. But in the chapter before, she betrayed Samson so that this wouldn't happen.
Which is why he killed 30 men and then stormed off. So
it ended up happening anyways. And it could possibly be they only burned their property, but most likely they killed them.
Well, it says they burned them with fire.
So probably one big fire. They probably locked them in the house and set on fire. Again, very tragic and devastating. The father-in-law being called a Timonite is because he was from Timnah. So that's...
Yeah, like in the beginning of chapter 15, it's where he saw her.
Yep.
So, verse 7, and Samson said unto them, "Though ye have done this, yet will I be avenged of you, and after that I will cease." So Samson vows more revenge because of what they did. He also promises that he will not rest until vengeance is complete. This will start a back and forth that will just get more and more intense.
It's going to keep getting worse and worse.
So even though she betrayed him, he still views her as his wife.
Yep.
Well, not no more because she's dead, but Verse 8, and he smote them hip and thigh with a great slaughter, and he went down and dwelt in the top of the rock Edom. So hip and thigh means pretty much he utterly defeated them. Samson hit them with a very
pretty
severe
big slaughter.
He killed a lot of them.
Yep.
The rock, most likely the rock Edom was a stronghold or a natural fortress, think of rocky elevated areas. Kind of like out southwest, they have those like abandoned cities that are like basically holes in the rock. So it's very defensible, but it was located in the territory of Judah, not Philistine land. He retreated back to Allied territory. So just kind of shows how much the Philistines had been oppressing Israel.
Well, he finally left the enemy territory. He keeps going.
And came back to Israel.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to go back to where I'm safe now. But we're going to find out here in a second. He's not really safe there.
No, they're going to be looking for him now.
Yep. Verse 9. Then the Philistines went up and pitched in Judah and spread themselves in Leah. So retaliation against Samson's attack. The Philistines are now going out and growing their territory into Israel territory. And Leah means jawbone, which is named after the event. That's what will happen in verse 17. So we're going to see why that name is what it was called.
Yeah.
Also could be, if it was named that beforehand, maybe it was just a fulfillment. I don't know. But it appears that it got named that after the fact, and that's what it's just called.
And
that we know
this is
now.
Obviously being written after the fact. So,
But because of Samson's actions now, Judah is being affected by this. Verse 10, and the men of Judah said, why are you come up against us? And they answered, to bind Samson are we come up, to do it to him as he hath done to us. So because Samson had affected the Philistines that much, the Philistines are now attacking. They killed the two.
This whole entire army invading Judah is just to get Samson.
Yep. So, again, Samson's not a good judge, as we're seeing here. He's affecting the people in a worse state. But the people of Judah are asking, like, hey, why are you doing this all of a sudden? And they're like, because we're here to capture Samson. So we're going to see how Judah reacts to that here in a minute. Yep. But what started between just Samson and the Philistines is now involving other nations. So it's growing from one man against this army to now you're involving an entire country tribe against us.
You see with Samson, he's taking vengeance out on the Philistines. Yep. He's not like the other judges. They were delivering the people out of oppression through God telling them to do it. Samson is just killing them because he feels slighted, right? Because he felt like they were doing him wrong. So, it's you see the separation from just how far they followed away from God here. Verse 11. Then 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of the rock Edom and said to Samson, knowest thou not that the Philistines are rulers over us? What is this that thou hast done unto us? And he said unto them, as they did unto me, so have I done unto them. So,
vengeance.
So Samson is well known for what he can do, I'd imagine at this point.
Yeah.
3,000 men. So they're taking him seriously. Yeah. Go and tell Samson, hey man, like what? Why did you bring them here? I mean, what did you even do that this army is coming after you? I mean, don't you know that, they're our bosses essentially. And, he's justifying his behavior. Well, I'm only doing what they did. Yeah. It's like little Johnny saying, no, you can't do this. Well, how come he can do it? Yeah. Which that's the selfish childlike behavior that's in him. Also important to notice the way they confront Samson. It's more like, it's not a plea to deliver them. It's not like the other judges. Yeah. They're like, hey, dude, like, quit doing this, right?
Yeah. It's like, hey, stop messing up what's in order right now.
They're
stop
like,
doing that.
They've come to accept that Philistines are ruling over them.
Yeah, which is
so sad. They haven't cried out to God for deliverance like the other times. Yeah. Verse 12, and they said unto him, we are come down to bind thee, that we may deliver thee into the hands of the Philistines. And Samson said unto them, swear unto me that ye will not fall upon me yourselves. So they're like, hey, we've come up here. we don't want any trouble. We've come up here to get you and take you to the Philistines.
Yep.
Because, we don't want to go to war with them for you.
Yeah.
You selfish big baby.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing this to appease the Philistines. Samson agrees as long as the men of Judah themselves are not going to try to do anything to him.
Yeah.
Other than deliver them to the Philistines. They're unaware that God has chosen Samson to help deliver them from the Philistines because it's not like Barak and Deborah or like Gideon or someone like that. Yeah. It's just this dude just going crazy over the Philistine.
Yeah, he's clearly set apart because of how strong he is and what power it seems he has. But they're not asking him to help deliver or help get the enemy off him. They're just like, dude,
they just want
get them away from us. Yeah. Like, don't.
They just want the problem to go away.
Exactly.
Yeah. Verse 13, and they spake unto him, saying, No, but we will bind thee fast and deliver thee into their hand. But surely we will not kill thee. And they bound him with 2 new cords and brought him up from the rock. So they're like, hey, we're not going to kill you, but we're going to tie you up, which is what they mean by binding thee fast. They're going to tie him up securely and hand him over to the Philistines. The 2 new cords show how strong Samson was. This is like 2 unused pieces of rope. I mean, never been used before, and they would have been harder to break than like used, old, worn out.
That being said, verse 14, and when he came up unto Leah, the Philistines shouted against him, and the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and the cords that were upon his arms became as flax that was burnt with fire, and his bands loosed from off his hands. So Samson now in the Philistines' territory, he's been turned over, he's being mocked and yelled at, and as this is happening, the Spirit of God, comes on to him, and he's empowered again, and he rips the ropes, like, basically it's like toilet paper that was wrapped around tissue paper, it was like caught on fire.
Well, it talks about the flax. If you've ever burned a candle, when the wax gets soft, you can literally just do that.
Yeah, easy.
I have a picture of there's a TV show called Reacher.
Yeah.
Where like there's one where he's tied up in zip ties.
Yeah.
And they come to cut it loose off him. He goes, "No, I got it," and he just literally does that, and they fall off.
Like
that's what I think of when it, that's what I picture when they fell off of him.
Yeah, it really easy.
He just went,
nothing.
I'm good.
Yeah, and flax is used, stuff like that's comparing to. Flax is used as making linen, and even a small fire would burn it easily. So it'd be something like tissue paper. It'd be like something like you could easily rip out of like paper or whatever. Continue on though. It is possible that this was either a divine act God performed to release Samson, or that Samson's strength peaked so high from the Spirit that he ripped through the ropes as if it were burnt flax. So either way, all credit is to God. It wasn't on Samson's own accord, but it could have been done through either one of those means.
Yeah. Even though Samson's selfish and he won't say it out loud, the Scripture tells us, his strength came from God.
Yep. All right, verse 15. And he found a new jawbone of a donkey, and put forth his hand, and took it, and slew 1,000 men therewith. So, he breaks free, and Samson uses a fresh jawbone of a donkey to kill 1,000 men.
Yeah, 1,000 men of the army that's sent to come get him.
Yeah. So, I'm going to put a picture of a donkey jawbone up there, just to kind of get an idea. You can look up other pictures on your own if you're more curious about that. But it's not stated how he got this, whether from a dead donkey close by, or just God providing a nearby tool for Samson to use. Again, a donkey jawbone is kind of random.
Well, the idea of it, it's saying a new jawbone. The idea carries like it's a freshly, like a freshly dead carcass.
Yeah. Which, then again, he wasn't supposed to touch dead stuff. So, just something to kind of think about with the Nazirite vow. But that's what he did. Continue on, after he kills 1,000 men. Verse 16, and Samson said, with the jawbone of a donkey, heaps upon heaps, with the jawbone of a donkey have I slain 1,000 men. So it's basically like a victory chant. He's like singing this, basically saying like, look what I did with 1,000, with a donkey bone I killed 1,000 men. And he's more focused on what he has done rather than what God has given him strength to do.
Yeah.
And glory should have been to God, and respect to God.
Yeah.
Full.
Like we've been saying, like unlike the other judges who give glory to God for their victories, Samson here doesn't.
Continue on. And verse 17. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking, that he cast away the jawbone out of his hand and called the place Ramath-Leah. So, after Samson has finished his victory chant, woo, killed 1,000 people.
Yeah, me.
He threw away the jawbone, and the place became known as Ramath-Leah, which means the casting away the jawbone, or the hill of the jawbone. So again, the city was most likely shortened to just Leah sometime after this, as that's what this area was known for, was this event with
What happened, yeah.
donkey jawbone. So pretty rememberable, I'd say.
I think that would get around.
Oh yeah, especially just the aftermath of that.
Yeah, you don't see that every day.
No, you do not.
Verse 18, and he was sore athirst, and called on the Lord and said, Thou hast given this great deliverance into the hand of thy servant, and now shall I die for thirst, and fall unto the hand of the uncircumcised. So only now, when he's thirsty, does Samson think of the Lord. He does give him credit for delivering
After song, but
delivering the victory to him. But then he kind of acts like the Israelites in the wilderness and goes, now I'm going to die of thirst, which he's not. He's just thirsty. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he lost a lot of sweat killing all them people.
Yep.
I mean, it feels kind of like flippant or, half-hearted. Uncircumcised, again, we talked about.
Yeah.
They called Gentiles uncircumcised because they were, for the most part. Jews at that time were really the only ones that were circumcised because it was like a symbolic. It was a sign of their covenant between them and God. Yeah. Not so much the case today.
Yeah. Just a title for them, more or less.
Not going to say that. Anyway.
Yep.
19, but God clave in a hollow place that was in the jaw, and there came water thereout. And when he had drunk, his spirit came again, and he revived. Wherefore he called the name thereof Inachor, which is in Lehi unto this day. So God had mercy on Samson, as he does with us every day. Grateful for that. He had mercy on him. He opened up a hollow point in the ground in Lehi, which is what it means by that was in the jaw from the hollow point. Water comes out, giving him vitality, his energy back. I'm sure that took a lot out of him.
Yeah.
Whipping them 1,000 dudes.
Well, you ever been on a run or real workout and or maybe even a hot day and you're just dead, and then a little drink of water and you're back.
If you've ever seen a boxing match or an MMA fight or something like that, those dudes are exhausted.
Oh yeah.
This guy just killed 1,000 people with a bone.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's a little bit tired. So he named the place Inachor, which means fountain of the praying one.
Yep.
Kind of fits. Verse 20, and he judged Israel in the days of the Philistines 20 years. Samson judged Israel while the Philistines ruled 20 years. Not the end of the story of Samson. We'll see there's another chapter. Yep. But it's put where it is because the next chapter about Samson is how he ultimately ends his rule.
Yeah. So, the next chapter is basically how he dies. Spoiler or whatever. But
spoiler, man.
Moral of the story right there is leave it to God. Vengeance is his. Don't take it in your hands. It goes horribly wrong every time and any time you put it in your own hands. Whether you face that judgment on earth or in heaven, you're going to have to answer for it, and there's repercussions for it. So just take that into account when maybe something is done wrong with you. You don't fight fire with fire. That just makes more fire, as he did with the foxes there. No, you take the fire out by putting water on it.
His actions had consequences on the people around him, right?
Yeah, so it wasn't just Samson that got affected from it. It was his people. There's something to think about. That being said, I think it's my turn. All right. Pray out. All right. Heavenly Father, thank you for letting us get a portion of your word today. Lord, continue to be with us. Help us to take a lesson away from this, to put more faith and trust in you, allow you to lead, guide, and direct us. Let us have true faith in you, to have you handle our problems, Lord, and have you handle our struggles, our anger, our emotions, Lord, that you do all things for your will and for your glory, Lord. I ask you to do this for us and the people behind the screen, Lord. Forgive me my sins and the ways that I fail you in my own life. In Jesus' holy name I pray. Amen. Like and subscribe, and see you tomorrow for Judges 16.